If you can, remember the horror of the 2008 recession and how it caught millions of Americans off guard. With that in mind, I'm sure you'll want to know that the next recession is just creeping around the corner. The market drops we saw in September and December last year were just the warning signs. One man, who I trust has the guts to speak the truth on America's secrets that are hiding in plain sight. You've probably heard of him, best-selling author Doug Casey. He's been called America's top legendary speculator, and every major political and economic forecast Doug has ever made over the last 3 decades came true. His research shows a major stock crash is around the corner, and it could be triggered by a powerful group of individuals whose efforts are intended to simply sabotage Donald Trump's presidency. And the worst part? Hardworking Americans who saved diligently for retirement are the ones who will feel it the most. We've documented how Doug expects this market crash and recession to play out, how it's aimed at the Trump presidency, and who's behind it. And yes, what simple steps you should take now if you want to survive financially and live peacefully under the radar when it all goes down. To watch this free presentation, go to www.badnews2020.com and watch for free. Once again, that's www.badnews2020.com and listen to what Doug has to say. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News for Monday, April 15th, tax day, guys. Don't forget, you have until today to send in your taxes. Make sure you do that because the IRS will come after you. Well, first of all today, it appears that President Trump and Cher finally agree on something. President Trump tweeted about it today. This is too funny. Trump rips Cher on Twitter. For months, Cher has attacked President Donald Trump on a regular basis on her Twitter account. Well, on Sunday, the liberal mouthpiece and actress, singer Cher, had a rare moment of lucidity, tweeting about the insanity of the Democrat Party's plan for open borders. I told you this would happen. President Trump said that he was planning on sending illegals to sanctuary cities. Well, Cher says, I understand helping struggling immigrants, but my city, Los Angeles, isn't taking care of its own. What about the 50,000 plus citizens who live on the streets? People who live below the poverty line and hungry. If my state can't take care of its own, many are vets. How can it take care of more? President Trump says, I finally agree with Cher. Oh, just like I predicted. All it took was for President Trump to threaten doing this. And people across the board on the left are starting to realize what a bad idea it is. I heard that Gavin Newsom spoke out about it. I know that Cory Booker has spoken out about it. And now Trump and Cher together are speaking out about it. We all knew President Trump likes to go and play hardball, okay? President Trump likes to put things out there that people really, get worked up about. And when they get worked up about it, they start thinking about it. Well, now it looks like people like Cher and her cohorts in Left Angeles are actually thinking about the prospect of having all those illegal aliens sent to their cities and their states. And it's going to cause a problem. So hopefully this is going to cause some people to start thinking about it, and maybe the leaders of these sanctuary cities to start doing something about it. Maybe they'll also stop calling for open borders and complete destruction of the United States. Well, the moment has come, guys. It looks like the Mueller report is expected to be released on Thursday morning. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's much-anticipated Russia report is set to be released to the public and Congress on Thursday morning, the DOJ has reported. Justice Department spokeswoman Carrie Kupek told Fox News on Monday the report would be made available with redactions and color-coded sections, I might add, Thursday morning to lawmakers and to the public. The news comes despite mounting calls from Democrats to first release the report to Congress without redactions, even though it would be against the law. But we all know that Congress cares little for the law. Attorney General Bill Barr testified Wednesday that he planned to have the report available within a week, maintaining his original vow to release Mueller's full report by mid-April. Last month, Mueller submitted his more than 300-page report to the Justice Department for review by the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. In a letter to Congress, Barr stated some of the primary findings of the report, stating that the special counsel found no evidence of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians during the 2016 presidential election. Mueller was also tasked with investigating whether the president had obstructed justice in any way, but ultimately he did not come to any conclusion on that issue, leaving the decision to the DOJ. Barr and Rosenstein, though, said the evidence was not sufficient to establish that the president committed an obstruction of justice offense. Barr has faced mounting criticisms from Democrats over his short 4-page description of findings from the Mueller report. Most congressional Democrats demanded Barr turn over the full report without redactions to the House and Senate Judiciary Committees for review prior to releasing it to the public. Now, I think we all know that if that would have happened, Congress would have then immediately leaked it all over the internet and to as many fake news outlets as they could possibly get it to. Barr, though, said he identified 4 areas of the report that he believed should be redacted, including grand jury material, information the intelligence community believes would reveal intelligence sources and methods, any material that could interfere with ongoing prosecutions, and information that could implicate the privacy or reputational interests of peripheral players. Barr said the Justice Department, with the help of the Special Counsel's Office, plans to color-code the decisions from the report and provide explanatory notes describing the basis for each redaction. Barr maintained the DOJ is working diligently to make as much information as possible available to Congress. Meanwhile, in a statement earlier this month, responding to media reports, the DOJ defended Barr's rollout of Mueller's conclusions. Given the extraordinary public interest in the matter, the Attorney General decided to release the report's bottom-line findings and his conclusions immediately, without attempting to summarize the report, with the understanding that the report itself would be released after the redaction process, the Justice Department statement said. The DOJ also noted every page of Mueller's report was marked to indicate it may contain grand jury material and therefore could not be immediately released. Now, as I said earlier, Congress cares little for the laws. In fact, they make up laws for themselves that don't apply to the rest of the public. But this is an instance, thank God for Attorney General Bill Barr, that they are going to have to play along with the same rules as everyone else. And as I said, if they would have given the report to Congress, then Adam Schiff would have immediately leaked it to CNN or any other number of fake news outlets. So we can't have that happening. We have to protect people's rights, and we have responsibilities to anyone that was included in the report that ended up not having any charges filed against them, because just by virtue of the fact that their name is in this report, people could end up using that information to smear them, even though they did nothing wrong. Now, the last thing on this article here, did you guys know that he has an awesome We the People tattoo on his arm? I never did, and that's pretty sweet. Well, back to the Sanctuary City story. House Democrats demand documents on the Trump administration's bizarre and unlawful proposal to release migrants in sanctuary cities. Now it's suddenly bizarre to bring illegal immigrants to their cities. House Democrats on Monday blasted the Trump administration over its bizarre and unlawful proposal to release immigrant detainees into sanctuary cities and demanded documents from the White House and the Department of Homeland Security related to the floated policy. The Democrats also claimed that if it were enacted, it would be solely for political purposes. House Judiciary Chairman Gerald Nadler, Democrat of New York, House Oversight Committee Chairman Elijah Cummings, and House Homeland Security Chairman Benny Thompson penned a letter to DHS and the White House Monday requesting emails and other communications between administration officials related to the proposal. We are deeply troubled by multiple reports recently confirmed by the president that the Trump administration is considering releasing detained immigrants into congressional districts represented by Democrats in a bizarre and unlawful attempt to score political points, the chairman wrote. Not only does the administration lack the legal authority to transfer detainees in this manner, it is shocking that the president and senior administration officials are even considering manipulating release decisions for purely political reasons, they continued. The chairman requested communications, emails, and other documents related to the transfer or release of immigrant detainees to specific areas in the U.S. between DHS officials and Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials, and any other materials related to the proposed policy. The letter comes after President Trump responded to a Washington Post report last week, all but confirming that the administration proposed releasing detained immigrants in sanctuary cities. The president said that relocating illegal immigrants to these districts should make the radical left happy, and you'd think that it would. His comments come after the Post reported that the White House proposed sending the detainees to sanctuary cities twice in the last 6 months. The proposal was first floated in November amid reports of a large migrant caravan from Central America making its way to the southern border. The idea was again considered in February amid the standoff with Congress over a border wall. The Post said that the plan was shot down both times, but last week Trump signaled the proposal isn't dead. Due to the fact that Democrats are unwilling to change our very dangerous immigration laws, we are indeed, as reported, giving strong considerations to placing illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities only. I think it's a great idea, Trump tweeted last week. The radical left always seems to have an open borders, open arms policy, so they should make them very happy. Trump repeated the remarks later at the White House. We can give them an unlimited supply. Let's see if they have open arms. The president doubled down as Democrats fumed over the relocation idea. The extent of this administration's cynicism and cruelty cannot be overstated, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's spokeswoman, Ashley Etienne, said in a statement Friday. Using human beings, including little children, as pawns in their warped game to perpetuate fear and demonize immigrants is despicable and, in some cases, criminal. She added, the American people have resoundingly rejected the administration's toxic anti-immigrant policies, and Democrats will continue to advance immigration policies that keep us safe and honor our values. Pelosi's district, San Francisco, was among the sanctuary cities to which the administration considered sending detainees. White House officials, though, stressed earlier Friday that the plan never went anywhere. A source familiar with discussions told Fox News that Democrats who advocate leniency toward illegal immigrants should work with the administration to find ways to transport those set for release, including in their states and districts. The proposal was apparently rejected both times it came up by administration immigration agencies. It is unclear at this point whether immigration agencies would now support the proposal. Trump has repeatedly blasted sanctuary cities, which are areas where local authorities refuse to cooperate with federal immigration agencies. The cities are typically run by Democrats. The president was also hit last week with questions over the administration's past family separation policy at the border. Trump said they have no plans to revive the policy amid renewed speculation about whether the practice could return amid a shakeup in staffing at the Department of Homeland Security, including the resignation of Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen. Kevin McAleenan, who was serving as CBP commissioner, is replacing her as acting secretary. Nielsen's resignation last Sunday came amid an influx of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. Nielsen was reportedly frustrated with the difficulty of getting other departments to help her deal with the growing number of families crossing the border, but administration officials told Fox News that McAleenan best fits Trump's requirement of being a tough cop on the frontier and that Nielsen had been viewed as resistant to some of the immigration measures pushed by the president and his aides. By last Tuesday, DHS Acting Deputy Secretary Claire Grady had also resigned. And last Wednesday, Nielsen announced that ICE Acting Director Ron Vitiello would be stepping down by the end of the week. So big shakeup in DHS among positions that deal with immigration. Now, what I don't like about this article is they conflate the idea of immigration with illegal immigration. They're two separate things, okay? People coming into the country illegally are not the same thing as immigrants coming here looking to lawfully enter the country and find a place to live. So shame on Fox News for not making that distinction. And President Trump hits Nancy Pelosi after 60 Minutes puff piece. All they do is investigate, as it turns out, crimes they instigated and committed. 60 Minutes interviewed Nancy Pelosi last night in another one of their notorious puff pieces for the Democrat Party. Pelosi is the woman in charge for the most radical do-nothing Congress in U.S. history. She spent most of last week defending freshman Representative Ilhan Omar's dismissive comments on the terrible September attacks. Following the interview, President Trump posted another epic tweet. He said, such a puff piece on Nancy Pelosi at 60 Minutes, yet her leadership has passed no meaningful legislation. All they do is investigate, as it turns out, crimes that they instigated and committed. The Mueller no collusion decision wasn't even discussed, and she was a disaster at the White House. She's a disaster anytime she walks in front of a podium. Nancy Pelosi. That's right. This Congress has done absolutely nothing. All they've done is bicker. Bicker. Nancy Pelosi, as the leader here, is really lacking in leadership. I think it's a disgrace what she's done. I think it's a disgrace what she does. And again, I think it would be great to see her district filled up with illegal immigrants because they got to go somewhere. Now, did you guys hear about this? This was incredible. There's this CBS drama. It's called The Good Fight. I've never seen it. But they sparked outrage after tweeting out a list of words, and listed in a row were assassinate, then president, and then his last name. Can you believe it? CBS's all-access The Good Wife spinoff series, The Good Fight, is in hot water after tweeting an image from one of its episodes that shows a list of target words, including assassinate, then president, and his last name, in a red column, and a second orange column that started with the words Mar-a-Lago and eliminate. The episode itself focuses on the character Diane joining a female resistance group tasked with dragging down Donald Trump's approval ratings. Look at this. Some of those target words look a little familiar. Did you catch any Easter eggs in this scene from the one where Diane joins the resistance? So not only did they put this out there, clearly trying to instigate something happening to our president, but then they even gloated over it. That is just insanity. Ryan Saavedra says, CBS crime drama The Good Fight tweeted an image that included those phrases that we just tweeted out. The tweet, which has since been deleted, did not provide any context for the list. Instead, it asked viewers if they could find the Easter egg. The egg reference ended up being linked to Kalinda, a popular character in The Good Wife, whose name was in the second column. Oh, really? Those weren't the Easter eggs? The tweet hit a nerve with some viewers not amused by the Trump reference. Some pledged to stop watching the show while others threatened to contact the authorities. One user tweeted, "Yes, CBS, this is despicable to run subliminal messages encouraging the assassination of the president. I hope the Secret Service investigates The Good Fight thoroughly. I certainly hope they do." Another tweet shared, I just reported this to the FBI. Thank you for breaking the law. Look at that. Good on you, Afterman. This is absolutely abhorrent and cannot be tolerated. Will CBS allow this garbage? The show should be dropped immediately. Not going to show their preview either. Look at that. CBS TV show advocates using political violence. Can you believe it? Another user said they will hit CBS where it hurts the most. Just stopped watching anything having to do with CBS, and especially The Good Fight. Inciting political violence, advocating for the assassination of the president. Have you all lost your minds? I'll be contacting your advertisers. The garbage show The Good Fight that incites to violence on the streets already deleted their tweet, but they cannot delete the terrible image they left on hundreds of Twitter users' feeds. Look at that. CBS declined to comment to Fox News. I wouldn't be surprised about that. This isn't the first time The Good Fight has taken a dig at Trump. A couple of years ago, the show tackled the topic of censorship under the Trump administration. There have also been Trump-inspired episodes on just about every primetime network, including NBC's Law & Order, SUV, ABC's Quantico, and Showtime's Homeland, to name a few. These people... Art imitates life, and they know it. They put these things in there so that people will see them, and then it will trigger some MK Ultra programming, and then next thing you know, they're arresting somebody in front of the White House. Well, this is despicable, and I really hope that the FBI and the Secret Service do something about this, because you can't allow for this to go on. You cannot allow for this to be done with impunity. Well, look at this. In a Gateway Pundit exclusive, Fusion GPS admitted in 2010 they created reports for President Hussein, but they scrubbed it from their website. Fusion GPS proudly announced online in their original mission statement that they produced reports for President B.O. By 2018, Fusion stopped bragging about this fact. Another internet sleuth put together a masterpiece on the fake Trump Russia dossier. In the online report, a list of individuals who worked with Fusion GPS was listed along with its founders. Also, the report provides Fusion's mission statement. And here it is right there, talking about the fact that they put that information together for BO. Based in Washington, D.C., Fusion also stands at the crossroads of the regulatory, policymaking, and enforcement communities, increasingly important to the sound allocation of capital. We know the people on the front lines of issues related to trade, technology, natural resources, and security. Our specialists can provide support in matters of regulatory compliance, asset recovery, and market intelligence. We have the ability to present information in powerful products written by a team of specialists trained in producing material for some of our most discerning readers in the world, including the President of the United States and the readers of the Wall Street Journal. It is clear from Fusion GPS's own materials that in 2011 and onwards that the company was already producing products in the form of commercial, financial, and political reports that were reaching the Oval Office and were being read by President B.O. himself. By 2018, Fusion had changed its website and eliminated their prior statement related to providing reports to the President of the United States. A report from an audit performed by the FISA court that was completed in October of 2016 but not released until April 26th of 2017, noted among many crimes that 85% of the government's FISA searches were fraudulent, and the data from these searches was provided to outside contractors who obviously had no business receiving this data. It is believed that Fusion GPS was one of these contractors. Was Fusion taking information on Americans that it received from fraudulent FISA searches made by the U.S. government and providing summaries of this data to the B.O. White House? It sure looks like that in this case. Here we go. Yet another link between Fusion GPS and the former president. Now, we also know that they had links to other entities that were connected to the president, not least of all, which was Pkwy, another law firm that was connected to the former president, and also connected to the DNC, and also connected to HRC. So, hopefully this is going to be used in the case against Fusion GPS, because they clearly broke the law when the founder of Fusion GPS testified before Congress and pretended that things happened in a different order than they actually did. That's perjury. Well, it looks like the college admissions scandal is heating up once again. Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo Giannulli enter a not guilty plea in the college admission cheating scandal. They are facing significant time in prison over this. Lori Loughlin and her fashion designer husband Massimo Giannulli pleaded not guilty on Monday in the sweeping college admissions bribery scam, Fox News has learned. In court documents obtained by Fox News, Loughlin, 54, and Giannulli, 55, said they are waiving their right to appear in court for an arraignment and pled not guilty. The Fuller House actress also requested to waive an appearance for an arraignment in the college admission scandal, the Department of Justice told us. Loughlin and Giannulli did not appear in court, and it is currently not known if the judge will permit the pleas without them present. The couple is among 50 people charged in the nationwide scam, which authorities say also involved rigging college entrance exam scores. It's the biggest college admissions case ever prosecuted by the Justice Department. The scandal embroiled elite universities across the country and laid bare the lengths to which status-seeking parents will go to secure their children a coveted spot. The couple and more than a dozen other parents were hit last week with a money laundering conspiracy charge on top of the mail fraud conspiracy charge they were already facing. Several other indicted parents have also filed court documents entering not guilty pleas. They now face up to 40 years in prison if convicted. The former Hallmark Channel star and her fashion designer husband were arrested last month and released on $1 million bonds for allegedly bribing their daughter's way into the University of Southern California for the mere sum of $500,000 each, a cool million. Loughlin and Giannulli were charged with mail fraud in March after it was discovered that they allegedly paid scam mastermind William Rick Singer to have their daughters Isabella and YouTube star Olivia Jade recruited into the USC crew team, despite neither girl being a rower in high school. The girls' statuses at USC are reportedly on hold amid internal investigations into each student's case. Giannulli and Loughlin rejected the plea agreement with that Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman, who was also implicated in the case, accepted earlier this month. Reps for the couple did not return Fox News requests for comment, and they have not publicly addressed the allegations against them. Well, this is going to be bad news for Lori Loughlin, because now that they put this money laundering charge on top of everything else, it's not just the money that they spent. It's the money the combined total of all of the money that was fraudulently passed to get everybody's kids into college. So they are looking at a lot of jail time, 40 years in prison, because they wanted to make sure that their kids stayed among the upper crust. Pretty disgusting, but unfortunately, this is what happens when you flagrantly break the law in such a manner. They thought they were untouchable. They were part of the Hollywood elite. Even if she's maybe a B or a C-list star based on her Hallmark status, she was still producing. And Massimo, as a fashion designer, he was also part of that Hollywood upper crust, that elite. But this is it, guys. You are going to see what real justice looks like, because we have an AG in the office that is really going to take care of business. All right, folks. Well, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78, the corruption detector. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.